Tonight is Monday, August 11th, 2008. This is a public hearing for the City of Lowell Zoning Board of Appeals. Tonight we have a very short agenda. We have a continuance for BVP Lowell LLC at Western Ave, and we have a request for special permit and variance for a sign for 16 Perry Street, and no other business tonight. So we'll take it by order. The first one is the continuance, ZB 2000-00823, a special permit, BPV Lowell LLC, that's 122 Western Ave. And this is a request for continuance until August 25th. We had addressed this issue at the last meeting and had agreed as a board to continue this without any further notice to the August 25th, 2008 meeting. But just out of an abundance of caution, we'll take another motion right now to continue that hearing until, I'll entertain a motion to continue that until August 25th, 2008, unless there's any discussion.
No, Mr. Chairman, I think that's a good precautionary measure. With that being said, I'd like to make a motion to continue till August the 25th, 2008.
I need a second.
Second.
And roll call, please.
Continue.
Continue.
Continue to August 25th.
Continue to August 25th.
Okay, that matter has been continued to August 20, I'm sorry, one more, okay.
Continue.
Okay, that matter has been continued until August 25th, 2008. Anybody wishing to appear at that meeting, there'll be no further notices. Again, that will be August 25th at 6:30 here at City Hall Chambers. Okay, moving on. The only petition we have on tonight is ZB 2008-31, a special permit and variance for signs. The applicant is Barlow Signs, agent for J&D Nominee Trust, Finn's Car Wash, 16 Perry Street. This is a petition to allow the installation and internal illumination of a freestanding sign at Finn's Car Wash according to section 6.3 and 6.3.4 of the zoning ordinance. And I have a conflict of interest on this particular petition, so I will turn it over to Corey Belenja.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Okay, do we have, I believe we have a representative here from Barlow Signs, sir. Can you state your name and sign in, please?
Yes, my name's Tim Sullivan. I'm an employee of Barlow Signs, and I'm representing Finn's Car Wash at 16 Perry Street. Before I go into my presentation this evening, there was a bit of confusion with the sign regulations, whether we would be applying for a special permit this evening or variance this evening. If we review the sign regs on, let me see here, on page, where am I? Here we go. On page 51 of the sign regs, 52 of the sign regs, it says internally illuminated signs will require a special permit by the special permit granting authority. So that being said, we approached it as needing a special permit. But then if we go to page 55, in this zone, it's saying no illumination is allowed. So if that's the case, then we're going to have to apply for a variance. So we had a little bit of confusion as to which way we're supposed to be going here, whether we're going to go for a special permit or a variance. And at the time of our application, the city planner didn't know which way to go really either. So I don't know which way I should address my my presentation this evening.
Yes, there's some contradiction there, Counselor. Well, on the application, you have special permit and variance circled.
Well, because at the time when we filed, the planner said, I don't know which way you're supposed to go, you better circle them both.
And we don't have the building commissioner here this evening for his input. Kim, would you have any knowledge on this by any chance? No? Okay, all right, I suppose we can go forward with that then. Okay, Counsel, you may go forward with your presentation.
Okay. As it was originally stated in the application, the new Finn's Car Wash building on Perry Street Our client has done a great deal of renovation down there, really cleaned the place up, put in some substantial landscaping. The only thing he's missing is a way to attract customers into his property. It's a little bit of a unique property because there's a parking, I guess it would be considered a parking lot between his property and, I believe that's,
Yes, bordering the street and
yeah,
and the
Andover
property, yes,
Street.
yes.
His property in Andover Street.
Yep.
So what he would like to do is install an internally illuminated sign at that location. We're well within code as far as our size, as far as our setback, as far as our overall height. We're just seeking a special permit this evening to internally illuminate that sign. We were informed, and I'm sure you have the documentation from Diane Trod, is that her last name?
Yes, we have correspondence.
We were informed from her in the 11th hour this afternoon at about 3:45 that she was going to reject our proposal this evening, which unfortunately didn't really give us any chance to do anything, to make any accommodations for her. My client would still like an internally illuminated sign. With that site and where it is located, I got to believe that sign is mandatory to light it somehow. And by internally illuminating it, you control the light a little bit better. I know that the code states that it should be spotlit or externally illuminated. By externally illuminating a sign this size, basically what you're going to do is you're going to throw a whole bunch of wash light into the neighborhood. At least by internally illuminating it, you keep it all in check and you keep it coming out of the face of the sign instead of flooding the area. You know, it's a fairly tall sign at 20-foot overall height, so in order to light that 20 feet up there, you're going to have to get some major lighting in there. So that's why this evening we're seeking a special permit to allow internal illumination of the sign.
Okay, Counselor, just maybe a quick question here. What are the hours that your client intends to keep the lighting on?
Basically, you'll keep it on half hour after they close. Typically, being new, the business just starting up, I'm not sure if he's dialed in his hours yet, but he's agreed to keep it on a half hour after the property is closed.
But he, at the same time, doesn't know what time he's closing? Am I right?
I haven't really talked to him too much on that, but he will keep it on. He will turn it off half hour after he closes.
All right, well, I mean, I think this board would like some idea what time he intends on closing. Some of these things are open 24 hours, so coin ops. you
Right.
know.
Unfortunately, I don't know that.
Another question, does the abutter, your client owns this parking lot, correct? That where the signage is going, or?
No, he doesn't.
Okay. Okay, well, yes, we did get a correspondence letter from Diane Trad, and we'll see what the board's issues are. So I think we'll open up to the board. Well, actually, let's open up to a public hearing. See if there's anybody who would like to speak in favor of this petition. In favor? Hearing none, that part of the meeting is now closed. Anybody like to speak in opposition? In opposition. Hearing none, that portion of the meeting is now closed, and we'll open it up to the board. Mr. Bienvenu?
To you, Mr. Chairman. There is some confusion on what you should be going here for, whether it's a special permit or variance. I'd like you to see if you can take our comments, maybe wait a week or two, see what we got, straighten it out so we get it right. I'd like to get it correct for the petitioner, so he doesn't have any problems out there in the future. I had a question of, could we put a lower sign and get him better visibility on the corner of that property instead of putting it in the middle of the property? I mean, I'm just asking as a sign company.
Well, unfortunately, he really doesn't know what's going to happen in that parking spot. You know, in that parking lot through the place there, if someone wanted to put in park a panel truck there, they could. And if he keeps his sign any lower, you know, to the bottom of his sign, he's going to be about 15 feet. And that will give him visibility over pretty much no matter what someone decides to pull in there. I mean, there's nothing to say a guy doesn't pull in a trailer truck into that strip of land between him and, what was that street again? I keep forgetting the street.
It's Perry Street.
Not Perry. I mean, his main public is going to be on Andover Street. That's going to be his main visibility. So that's the reason we went for the height that we went for. trying to get his maximum height. And to be honest with you, he's going to be kind of set back closer to his building instead of out on that front corner. So by being back by his building, that will allow him to get up above any vehicles coming into his car wash and any of that kind of thing.
Okay. No, that was just one of the questions I had, and, was the height, and maybe could think of something different to get a little bit better visibility instead of putting up a big pole like that, but I'd be in favor of, letting you come back, getting it straightened out, so you know what you're going for, so we can give you the proper variance or special permit without having any, problems down the road.
Sure. Who will determine whether we're going for a special permit or variance?
That would be the building commissioner and the zoning officer in the building department.
Okay.
They would figure out which ones you're gonna go for. And the way I look in the book, I think you're gonna need a variance, so.
Okay.
Okay, is that
Thank
it,
you,
Mr.
Mr. Chairman.
Bienvenu? Okay. Mr. Kavanaugh?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you, just a couple of observations. I agree with Mr. Benvenu. I would like to see a shorter sign here in stature, and at least ask the petitioner to consider alternate locations if that's a possibility. And would also like clarity on the hours of operation so we could pinpoint that.
Unfortunately, excuse me, as far as the location, he's excavated the site, he's got his electrical where he wants his sign at this point. So yeah, I will discuss it with him, figure out if he does move it to another spot, the cost is gonna incur to run electrical and that whole thing. I mean, the owner is actually owns a landscaping business in town, and so when he got in there, he got everything all set. He's got his base in, I believe, as part of his landscaping, and our task is just to go in and bolt a sign onto that base. So, but being a landscaper, I guess he could probably dig it up if he had to, so.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kavanaugh. Mr. Knox?
Through you, Mr. Chairman. I think Mr. Bienvenu's initial comments on first clarifying whether it's the variance or special is very important. So that would be the first and foremost, the most obvious reason for requesting the continuance. Also, Ms. Bienvenu's comments about lowering the sign, I think is something that you and the client should look at. And as far as the placement, indeed you are right. He should be able to move it. And secondly, he shouldn't have probably placed it in a place he assumed without our permission or without the appropriate permission. So that's the first lesson, hopefully, that was learned today. That's why they came here to acquire that permit. That being said, I would relinquish my time to Mr. Bailey, and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Knox. Mr. Bailey?
Well, based on all the comments by the board members, I don't think I really have anything else to add. But when you made reference to the page numbers in the book, were you looking at any specific sections within those pages?
Oh, yes.
You referenced the 2-page numbers, but
Yeah, section 6.3.
yep.
And page 52 states the special permit for internal illumination.
Yep.
And page 55, I believe, yeah, 55 says we're in a SMU zone, I believe.
Which,
TMU. And that states that no internal illumination is allowed.
Okay.
So that was our stumbling block.
I don't really have anything else, Mr. Vice Chair, on this matter. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bailey. Mr. Knox, you have an additional comment?
I do. Just one other comment. I don't know if any other board members or Mr. Belanger, you did, see a copy of Diane Trad's comments on this petition. The petitioner has mentioned that she was not in favor of it. I have not seen, I don't know if any other board members are, and I'd like to see the reasons for her denial of the petition.
You are correct, Mr. Knox. Unfortunately, the correspondence we have is not really legible. I can only, we just got it late this afternoon, so, and again, Counsel, I think you get the general feeling of the board here, they're a little uncomfortable right now with this petition. I mean, your client has done an outstanding job on that site. I mean, it was a disaster. He's done a great job. His work is impeccable. I think this board is all in agreement to the fact that he needs something down there. So I think we are all in support of the something. But he's, you know, his hours of operation is unclear. I mean, we can't sit there and give him an open window to keep it on 24 hours. You know, I'd like to know his intentions, what hours, the location of the sign. Mr. Bienvenu's got an excellent point. Perhaps we can get a little closer to the street, you may not need something as tall, you know? Because the city is a plan, between the Lowell plan, the city of Lowell, there's gonna be a bike path built along the Concord River to the tune of a $3 million project. So I think they have concerns there at DPD. And so I think, you know, if we continue this for a couple of weeks, it'll allow you and your client to work out a few issues. And how do you feel, Counselor?
Could I ask one question?
Sure.
The main concern for us right now is the internal illumination. I mean, does the board feel that that would be something that would be acceptable at that property before we head down this road of lowering the sign and putting it in a new position? Is internally illuminated an option at this site?
Apparently it is. I mean, but it's unclear whether you're here for a special permit or a variance.
Correct.
So maybe some correspondence with DPD, Diane Trad, you could maybe get in touch with her. So again, I wish I could, I can, you know, this letter here is not really legible, unfortunately. But again, Counsel, I think we're all in favor, you know, that, you know, your client is in need of something over there. You know, we're not, you know, saying, we're not denying him by any means.
Right,
but we
I
just-
understand that, but, you know, I'm just trying to take my next step, and is my next step going to be to keep pursuing an internally illuminated
Through
option?
you, Mr. Chairman, and the other point that the chairman has mentioned again, you're asking us, well, can the illumination be addressed, or do you think it'll be granted? We still don't know the hours that they're going to be illuminated. So how can we comment if we don't know what the hours are?
Okay.
Yes, Counsel, I think the general feeling of the board is that we probably continue this a couple of weeks so you can work out a few of these issues, perhaps find a little better location towards the street. And I think what I can make, it's the height of the sign, I want to say is the concern of DPD, so perhaps you can work getting a little closer to the street, and cutting down on the height a little bit might help your cause.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay? Any further comments from the board? Mr. Bailey?
This document, you kind of showed us the representation of the picture.
Yes.
Just for clarification, down the bottom, it says non-illuminated is circled as opposed to illuminated. Is that, what does that,
I'm not sure you have the
Reference.
right,
no,
Print
there's
that I
no
have that
page
we
number on
filed.
it, but there's a sample of the height of the,
no, I'm sorry, that's in regards to the pole cover.
okay.
Our signs, we make signs with both illuminated and non-illuminated pole covers.
Yep.
So that's the reason that's circled, because it's going to be a
Very
non-illuminated pole
good.
cover.
Thank you.
Okay, Counsel, we want to make a motion to continue this for a couple of weeks. You know, I think we can work this out, but let's dot the i's and cross the t's and get this thing right so you're not back again, and it will be beneficial to both this board and your client, I think.
It's fine.
With that being said, I need a motion to continue.
Motion to continue for 2 weeks?
That's August the 25th, Madam Secretary. Thank you. I need a second.
Second.
Roll call, Madam Secretary.
Continue to August 25th.
Continue.
Continue to August 25th?
Continue August 25th.
Continue to August 25th.
Hey, Counselor, so you'll be back in front of us 2 weeks from tonight?
Great.
Maybe you can start reaching out to DPD, Diane Trad, and see what her concerns are, and as well as work another location possibly to the street, if at all possible.
Yeah, we were a little surprised that we received it such late notice from her, and it was kind of, didn't give us a chance to even react to it, so.
I understand. Well, this
That's
will give
fine.
you a fair opportunity to do
Okay.
that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Can I make a suggestion, Mr. Chairman? Maybe we
Yes.
should come up with a couple ideas on signs out there for us, whether it's internally illuminated or downlit, or something, or even ground. Just come up with some different ideas that we can look at, you know, so we can make a good decision to help
Sure.
help you
Yeah,
out up there,
maybe
okay?
another option or two.
He did a great job out there, he really did, and we just want to make sure it's correct.
Thank you. Yes, I will
Yes,
have
I
those.
think
I
that's
apologize for not having them
that's
this
yours.
evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't see any other business on the agenda, so unless anybody in the board has any comments, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chairman, we are scheduled to go into an executive session.
That's true, and Mr. Camacho is the proponent of that. He's not here tonight, so I'd suggest that we just take a vote to continue that to another date, and let's not state the date. I understand that the 25th is a packed agenda, and we anticipate a long night, so let's just agree to continue that indefinitely at this point.
Okay, through you, Mr. Chairman, with that being said, I'd like to make a motion not to go into executive session until an unspecified date, perhaps in September sometime.
Seconded.
Roll call. Actually, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. No other business, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
The second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.